Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Drinks and Discussions. Alongside our co-host, Marcus, and our special guest, Jason, I am Brian, and we will be hosting for the remainder of the evening. We are coming to you live at Encore from McKinney, Texas. We're on the corner of Custer and Virginia. If you're here nearby, please let us know. Come by and say hello, and we'll be more than happy to include you into the podcast, answer any questions, or hear your perspective on the topics that we talk about. Again, as always, we appreciate you joining Drinks and Discussions. Gentlemen, how are you? I apologize if there's some echoes. I'm still working on that. So, gentlemen, first of all, welcome, Jason.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Great to be here.
Hey, Jason, glad you're here, man.
I've heard so much about it.
All the good stuff, right?
All good things, absolutely.
It's only good things. Cheers.
Well, can't cheers you yet because I haven't got to that drink portion. But we are going to be getting there pretty soon. Our resident bartender is going to be here pretty soon. I think I realize now why I got the echo. Give me 1 second, guys. Let me get here real quick. Let's mute that. Okay.
I'm not hearing it.
You're not hearing anything? Okay. Well, Marcus, we missed you on the last one as well, so tell me about how things were going since the last time we saw you.
Oh man, it's good. I was just a little busy. You guys know I do. I have a little PA gig on the side, and I do it for football, volleyball, and I usually do basketball playoffs. And right now we are in the midst of high school basketball playoffs. I had a couple games last week.
All right. Thank you, sir. Here. Oh, you got one. Okay. Come on. You go talk about it. Talk about it, Chief. All right, guys. It's time for the drinks portion of this podcast. We've got our resident bartender, chief in charge, Mr. Danny. Tell me what we got.
So you have perfect rye Manhattan. So a perfect Manhattan is equal parts sweet and dry vermouth. And so we went ahead and used a Texas spirit. So we used the Balcones rye because you were already drinking rye, and so we didn't want to throw your palate off too much. So that's going to be some Balcones rye, equal parts sweet and dry vermouth, and then some yellow bitters. Cheers. And then for the CRB, the CRB today is mint. Go ahead.
Let me change my style.
So it wasn't the Manhattan. It is the perfect. Oh, the Manhattan. Perfect. I like it. It's less sweet. Correct. That's right. Correct. That's great. It's great. Yeah.
Well, let me tell you something. I learned. By the way, I learned that bourbon can be a whiskey, but a whiskey cannot be a bourbon. Bourbons are always whiskey, but whiskeys are not bourbons. Can't be bourbons. Do you know that? See, I learned it. I'm trying to be like Danny when I grow up.
So can you educate the uneducated? Which would be me on that.
So that's me too.
Well, in case you didn't know, because Jason's our new host here. Marcus has never had an alcoholic beverage.
Cool.
At all.
Was that Saturday?
So that in itself is odd. Well, we've probably talked about that.
He's taking care of the temple.
That's right. He's the fit guy of the bunch.
I'm secretly going to challenge Brian to record it.
So the big joke that I always had was that some guys would treat their bodies like a temple. I treat mine like an amusement park.
There you
Nobody's riding that ride. Nobody's getting on that. You asked for that.
I got a couple kids. How'd that happen? Maybe I got to do a DNA test. Is that what you're saying?
Hey, I did mine. With them. I'm kidding. Oh, jeez.
If you could be an amusement park ride, which one would you be?
The Texas Giant.
Okay.
That's actually pretty good.
I'll go
back old school. Though, what was the first one there at Six Flags?
The Shockwave.
Shockwave.
That's also got a really good name.
Yeah.
That was my
first roller coaster experience as a kid.
What was that George World screen?
Oh yeah,
That's the one.
That's
the one I had. Yeah. How was the CRB?
It's good, actually. I didn't get what it was.
So going back to the whiskey. So I had a taste testing kind of a software tutorial Zoom call. And before they did this, they sent us a case of three miniature bottles of all the different types of alcohol that were going to be tasted on this Zoom call. One was one of my favorites, and it's got a Maker's 41 out. Really good. Then they had Elijah Craig, which I also like. And then they had another one that was a whiskey called Roulette. And during this kind of a bourbon testing is when they started talking about how so bourbon is in order to be called the bourbon. I also didn't know this. Bourbons can only be called bourbons if they're from the United States. They can also consist of 51% corn. That's what makes them a bourbon.
51% corn.
I don't know what all the other ingredients are and all that kind of stuff. In order for it to be a bourbon, it has to be consisting of at least 51%.
So whiskey, in this case, Bullet, which is my favorite. Rye, probably the main ingredient. So it's considered a whiskey and not a bourbon. Is that right?
Not a bourbon.
Right. Gotcha.
And that's when I found out that bourbons can be bourbons are whiskey, but whiskeys aren't bourbon. And I always kind of confused when I buy something, it always say bourbon whiskey on it. And I was kind of like, bourbon whiskey or what is it? So now I kind of clear now. If you see something on the bottle that says bourbon whiskey, that's what it is.
I feel like bourbons are a little sour.
So we're getting more information from our bartender, Danny. A bourbon is whiskey, but not every whiskey is bourbon. By law, to be labeled as a straight American whiskey, it must be aged in new charred oak containers or barrels, and the grains that make up these whiskeys have to be a certain percentage. So you get on the podcast and you learn, folks. You learn a lot. You're going to get a lot of education, I promise you, when you get on this podcast. But I didn't know that. So just the other day. What say you, Mr. Marcus? I've never had an alcoholic beverage.
No, I am enjoying this ERV. It's actually pretty good. I think this is raspberry puree. I'm thinking it's probably some tonic water. And there might be some mint in here. This one is a little more on the sour side than the spicy side. The last couple times I've been spicy.
I like that. With mint. Like a mojito.
So you kind of mix those for you now. That every time he comes up with something, it almost looks like a mojito.
Yes.
Mint
is great.
I've never had a mojito.
So
there was a place I used to go to. I'm trying to think. I think they did it at Christina's when Christina's wasn't so commercialized. They would actually steep the mint like a tea.
So
that gets it in the hot water, and they get all that essence into the drink. So it was fantastic. But usually they muddle it
Right. Yeah.
with
turbinado
turbinado sugar and that was the first time they did it like a tea, and they let it steep in like a tea.
I've seen some people with tea and some bartenders. I used to be a big fan of Bar Rescue. And I used to see your drinks where they used to put the mint in their hand, and slap it to bring out the whatever's in the mint, and then they put that in the drink, and then you just get that mint flavor throughout the course of the drink. I've never had that either, but it looks kind of cool. Let me tell you, the reason I don't drink mojitos is because I used to be a big margarita fan, and then got to a certain age where just like the acidic taste that just every time I would drink it, I was like, my stomach didn't feel very well after one, and so I just kind of like, I'm gonna get off of margaritas.
The mojito is more sweet. It's not sour like that, but yeah, I feel like I get worse hangovers because of the sugars in the rum.
Right. Yeah, I know we're still getting an echo, and I'm trying to figure this out. My wife is actually joining us in, and I'm still trying to figure it out. I'm trying to see.
Is it my speaker?
Now talk. Yeah, mute that one.
Mute this one?
This one?
Yeah.
I don't know how to.
Oh.
I can try this.
That's it.
I don't know.
I don't hear the echo now.
I don't hear the echo either.
So it's this microphone.
No, it was this. I turned this off.
No, I just turned this one off. Now talk.
Hello.
Okay, I can still hear it. I'm trying to figure out if we change the microphone, if we unplug this one. So we're going to technical difficulties, guys. Bear with us.
What if you have to turn it off?
Now switch your settings to go use that microphone. Actually, do you have that plugged? Oh, yeah, plugged in for your headset. That's right. Just use that microphone. Yeah, just use that one.
Can you hear me?
Yes. Yeah. And no echo.
Okay, there we go.
Okay, cool.
Hey,
Sorry about that, guys.
On the fly.
We were trying to put another microphone in the mix, and I think that kind of screwed us up. That's my fault. That should be fine. Appreciate our number one fan, Miss Jennifer Navers, for catching that and letting us know.
Hi, Jennifer.
Don't act like you know my wife. No, I'm just kidding. Mr. Amusement Ride. Speaking of my wife, I want to just stop and take a moment too, because March is colon cancer awareness month, and my wife is a survivor, and I want to make sure that we mention that. Couldn't be doing this podcast without her. She gave me permission, so I appreciate her. I'm glad she's with me. She's the best thing that come to my life, and so I want to give a shout out to all colon cancer and cancer survivors in general, and let them know that we're giving a cheers out to you guys for the
Cheers.
cheers. We got some viewers out there, so if you're chiming in, and my wife does say hey back to you guys, gentlemen. If you guys are watching and you want to chime in on some of the topics that we're discussing, feel free. We're on Facebook, we're on YouTube, so if you've got something to say or something that you'd like to interact with us throughout the topics, please join in. And if you're in the area, come by. We're at we're at Uncorked. We're on the corner of Virginia and Custer in McKinney. So they're open till, I believe, 9:30. So come on in, bring your family, bring your kids, and stop by and say hello. We'd love to see you guys. What were you about to say, Marcus?
Trying to log in.
Oh no.
What'd you say?
Oh no. We are.
My son from San Diego. He said he can't see.
Oh.
He said he can't see.
Oh, is he joining us on Facebook? Because
He was.
Okay. But he can't see us?
Yeah, he's trying.
He's
Okay.
trying.
Okay.
Let's just say that the military's internet out there is
not the best.
I got you. And what's your son's name?
Connor.
Who? Connor? Connor. You know, you ever see that movie, was it with Will Ferrell and Hannibal Buress was in it.
Stepfather?
Is it Stepfather? And so Hannibal Buress was in there doing something, and then all of a sudden they were talking about getting pregnant. It was Stepdad's 2, or Stepfather or something 2. And Hannibal Buress is in there, or maybe it's the first one, I don't know. And Hannibal Buress is like, why, something about naming the kid? And he goes, why, you don't think like my name? His name or something. He goes, why, you want to pick up one of these white names like Connor? And every time I hear, and I dated somebody whose son's name was Connor, and every time I hear that name, I always remember that movie. I mean,
it was a late 90s popular name.
No, that was a early 2000, mid 2000.
He was born in 98.
Oh, your son was born in 98. Oh, I think I'm about the movie. I apologize.
Oh, no.
No,
I know what you're talking about.
You can have to put the microphone right there.
Mark Wahlberg was it.
That's good. Right there. Put it inside your shirt right there. Yeah, that's good. All right, now I can hear you. Marcus, what were you about to say?
Oh no, I think I found it. I was looking for us on YouTube, but I think I found it.
Oh, the name of that movie? Yeah. What was the name of it? It's not Stepdad.
Oh, the movie? Oh, the
Yeah.
movie? Or no, I was looking for the name of our podcast on YouTube.
Oh, okay. It's Drinks&Discussions. Yeah, somebody else. So, and this is the thing. I did a research, because remember, I've had Drinks&Discussions on Facebook for 5 years now. I started coming back and doing this and revamping it. And then I started looking, and there are so many variations of Drinks&Discussions out there now. And on YouTube, somebody took our name that we are on here. They have Drinks&Discussions. There's a Drinks&Discussions with ladies on there, and they call it something after. Drinks&Discussions with so-and-so and so-and-so. And there's just so many different variations of this idea that I think that I was still a pioneer on trying to do.
Right.
Because I was doing this, I mean, I don't know if I was like the preemptive podcaster. I don't think that was the case. But when it comes to sitting around and having drinks, talking about drinks, and then having discussions about what we're doing, I think I was probably a pioneer. I'm the dad. I ain't getting no recognition for it, but
Should have trademarked it.
I sure should have. Why didn't I think about that?
You know, that's usually how it works out. Anytime I have an idea, if I'm talking to somebody, the joke is that we got to be real quiet. We got to go in a utility room or some dark room, turn the radio up really loud, and then whisper.
Right. But and when we were first started doing this too, we were doing it in my house, and we were doing more sports. It was because we were. I lived next to a referee who does all the Dallas Cowboy home games, and so he was like the resident, all-knowing of everything football. And so we were trying to get on with ESPN local. They were following us. We were getting a lot of sports and radio talk shows and stuff. They were just following us, and we got a lot of viewership, a lot of things. So then when I moved and then started to revamp it, I didn't want to just segregate our audience to being about sports, because if we're doing it on a Tuesday, you got Saturday, Sunday, Monday. People are already getting into everything you're going to talk about in that sporting event from that previous weekend. Actually, we're doing it on Mondays. And then so by Monday you get it, you're kind of like, and then you're missing Monday Night Football. So then you're going to have to hear a whole new cycle before you can even talk about those other games and all that kind of stuff. So we decided that we were going to try to change it up a little bit, and we figured that, guys talking about relationships, guys talking about politics, guys talking to women, talking about children, our struggles, just things that matter to men, would be the best measure to kind of move this podcast forward. And Jason, I know, welcome to you again. I know I don't know what you were expecting, but every time somebody comes on the podcast and they do it and they have so much fun, they were like, this is not what I expected, it was so much better. And I'm hoping that you don't feel uncomfortable with some of the topics that we're going to talk about. But I always tell people this: we're an open book when it comes to the podcast. We don't get into like a personal stuff. We're not experts. We also are only giving our perspective on things. We're not trying to tell you what to think. We're not going to argue and try to convince each other what to think. but we're just going to be here to give you guys a platform to express your perspectives and your opinions, and we're going to do the exact same thing, and it comes from a place of respect from all of us on the table.
Well, I think that's kind of what we've experienced when we golf together. We just kind of chat and have mutual conversation. We may not always agree on something, but I mean, still good friends. I mean, I think that's what we need more now is open dialogue and listening to other sides.
And just so you guys know, I do, and Jason kind of like alluded to this. Jason and I are friends. We met through a mutual friend of ours, and then we became golf buddies. And so we golf every weekend, or when the weather's nice, we golf every weekend. And Jason and I have become really close by, riding in the cart together. We're kind of on the same pace as our growth in the golf game. So we struggle the same, we drink the same, and so there's a lot of similarities that we have. I smoke cigars, that he doesn't smoke cigars, though. That's the only difference.
I would do it.
Yeah, I don't want you throwing up on the golf course.
I would.
So I don't golf. I've never been on a golf course. Well, I've been on a real live golf course time. But who would you say is better out of the two?
I wouldn't even say either one of us is better, because there's ups and downs of the game, and there's never any type of consistency. And any of the guys that we play with, we play with the guys that shoot in the 80s. Then there's sometimes they shoot in the 90s. We'll shoot the low 90s, mid 90s, to 100. It just depends on that day. So until we start getting consistent, as far as I'm concerned, I don't say I'm better than anybody out there. I just enjoy the game.
The thing I appreciate about Brian is I feel like we've always had each other's back. Because we do struggle a little bit here and there, and then obviously we can't. I'm not good enough to offer advice on what's wrong. I mean, because he was having some problems on the driving range today. He's like, "What am I doing?" I'm like, "Dude, I don't know." But let's get on the court. Let's get out there. Let's go have some fun. And you did. You struggled a little bit, but then you started going, and then I cheer him up.
That's it.
And same thing, with him. Is if I hit a great shot, he's right there. He's like, "Dude, it's great." So we celebrate the good moments of the round, and then.
But don't get us wrong.
A little bit of trash.
We get on people when they do a little bit of a bad shot. If you muff a putt or you do something crazy, we kind of get at each other sometimes. But that's kind of reflected upon this podcast. We come from a place of mutual respect. We all inclusive. We bring in everybody from all walks of life into our group. And that goes to show you what we're looking for and doing it on this podcast. We do have viewers out there too. I want you guys to please chime in. This is just the beginning. We're doing this idle chit chat. It's kind of like the warm up, if you will, of the podcast. We will be getting into some topics as we move forward. I want to also say my introductions. I want to say happy anniversary to my good friend, my brother and sister, Charla and Tim Gunn. I thought he was talking to me. I know that he will probably not be watching this because he's on his honeymoon or anniversary moon, but he will watch it eventually at some point in time. They're in Vegas. Yeah, so happy anniversary to those guys. Cheers to them. We love you. Caden loves the cats where you guys are gone. And then the biggest news I have for you coming up that I wanted to share with everybody, and this is going to come as a shock, but here it is. And I might have mentioned this before.
I can
only imagine.
I have never been to a concert a day in my life.
Really?
Not one.
What?
Not one single concert. And this is going to be a good segue to further conversations because, as I've said in this podcast before, I grew up a Jehovah's Witness. Okay? So there were limitations on what I could do when I was growing up. Going to concerts was not available as an option to me. However, March 23rd in Fort Worth, I will be at the New Edition concert.
I didn't know that was coming around.
Dude, we're going to be there. Luckily, my wife, it's our anniversary as well, so that's my anniversary present to her. Not for me, but to her.
Oh.
But that's one of those things where I'm just excited about it. It's going to happen. We were excited to, my first concert. I get to share that experience with my wife. That's invaluable. So I'm just really looking forward to this. I mean, this is going to be a good time.
Man, I'm not gonna lie, I'm jealous.
Listen, I didn't even know Marcus was such a big New Edition fan until I showed him that video from the American Music Awards, and me and him started jamming on the after party of one of the podcasts, and it was just bam. My wife said I'm gonna be like a little kid. I'll be like a kid in the candy store. Hell yeah! And I'm gonna give a little New Edition shout out.
I'm shocked because while we play golf, music is a massive player. We've always got music going, and he's always singing. He knows the lyrics to everything that comes on. It doesn't matter what genre, he's just nonstop singing. He knows all the words. And he shocks me with some of the music knowledge. I'm shocked he's never been to a concert. But I do understand it. So how did you get to listen to the music? What was that challenge?
Okay, so Jehovah's Witnesses are allowed to listen to music. Okay, music is part of it. And my mom and dad didn't grow up being Jehovah's Witnesses. They were adults when they became Jehovah's Witnesses. I think when I was born, or my mom was pregnant with me, and I have two older a brother and a sister older than me, that's when they became witnesses. That's what they're called. But for forever, my dad had vinyl albums after album after album that he still does. And there was music, Lou Rawls, and my cousins grew up listening to Duran Duran, Depeche Mode, Red Hot Chili Peppers, and I've had this eclectic or diverse group. Have a good night. There's just a variety, not just my parents, but just in my whole family. That we just grew up with all this different types of culture infused into our family. And I never was just listening to rap music. I never was listening to just R&B. I never was listening to I never really got into the hard rock. I had a friend of mine who I grew up with who became like one of those punk rock skinheads when I was in junior high, remember? They had the Doc Martens and the spiky. You might remember Joe Russell.
Yeah.
You remember Joe Russell?
Joe.
Okay, so Joe Russell used to be a clean-cut kid. Went to elementary school with him and Chad Klein. Went to Liberty Junior High, and then all of a sudden, he started having the big, high, spiky shaves on the side of his head, Sid Nancy type guy. He was that guy. But he was listening to some of the hard rock stuff that kind of, when he was a friend of mine, I started listening to that a little bit just because, that's my friend. I was very impressionable as a kid too, because I didn't have my own identity because I was being a Jehovah's Witness. So I was absorbing other people's stuff because I was trying to find out where I was and fitting in as I was growing up. Different topic for another time, but that's the reason why I became so involved when it comes to my musical taste. And I'll be honest with you, rap is probably my weakest genre of music.
Yeah, being impressionable with music. That was it. You mentioned all right. So when probably up until about the third grade, I lived in predominantly black grade with so the friends that I had then were obviously white, so I started learning like Motley, Def Leppard, Poison, Quiet Riot, all of those guys.
Yeah, Quiet Riot, yeah. Isn't it Quiet Riot? We're not going to take it? No, that's Twisted Sister.
Twisted Sister.
Not going to think of a Quiet Riot song. I don't know if I have one. Jason, what you grew up listening to?
I'm afraid to say it.
Country.
No. Originally, I was from
Michigan, man.
My mom.
There was really mellow music. It was Bee Gees.
Oh, come on. Don't hate on the Bee Gees.
I'm not. I love it.
Da, 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 da.
I will get down with
I
the
hear it.
beat.
I love it. But Neil Diamond was my first concert. It was like 1980.
Sweet Caroline, ba ba ba. Good times never look so good, so good,
So good, so good.
So that's what I
So
was
that's what I was
exposed
exposed to.
But then
But then
MJ hit the
MJ
scene.
hit the scene.
Who?
Michael Jackson.
Michael Jackson.
Oh, shit. Hey, shut your mouth.
And
that was I can
clearly
remember driving in the car with my mother, her saying, "Listen to this guy. He's fantastic." And it was one of his. It wasn't his first album because he started out very young,
but it was
Thriller.
And I was just
And I was just a young kid.
I can clearly remember hearing that first time.
And it changed
my
my life.
I've been
I've
all over the
been
board.
all over the board. I like Denver. I like fun stuff too. Metallica, Pantera.
That's hard. That's the hard stuff. Yeah.
Depends on in the mood you're in.
In the mood you're in. I mean, when I used to work out when I was in shape, it was going to be
like that.
Yeah. You have to be in the mood. Music is that. It's whatever mood you're in, you can find some music to fit that mood.
But
I feel like I grew up in a great time too because in the late '80s, I mean, that's when I was exposed to some of the rap that came out too. So NWA came out, and I mean, I was just literally across the board on all of the music, like even some classical.
You know,
Just depends.
I listen to, it's funny because we have Alexa in our house and we got a speaker in the kitchen. And so when I'm cooking sometimes and wife and baby boy are just kind of sitting around relaxing or something, I always go, Alexa, play smooth jazz.
Yes.
Now, my son will go in there and he'll go, Alexa, play smooth and jazz. And I'm like, oh, great. But yeah, I mean, you got to be, and this is not a segue to any of our topics, but I like to associate myself with people who are well-rounded individuals and not just stuck on one line of thought, one mode of music, one mode of lines of thinking. So that's why I think this group has always worked, because we drink, Marcus doesn't. I believe in some things that Marcus doesn't believe in, and Trey, of course, is the exact opposite, the polar opposite of a lot of the things that I agree with and talk about. And Jason and I, you guys aren't familiar with who Jason is, but Jason and I have had discussions on the golf course. He and I don't share the exact same views on things, but that's what makes, that's one of the reasons why we're bringing this podcast, because who cares if you don't think the same? Join the conversation.
We do agree on
food and cooking.
We do that. Oh, absolutely.
I feel like that's
a great unifier.
Absolutely. And I am looking forward to find out who's actually the best at it, because we do need to have like a cook-off, a smoke cook-off, a brisket or something to find out who's going to wear the crown. I vote for me.
We gotta do meats.
Brisket's my nemesis. I'll do pork rib.
Can you do a pork shoulder, like pulled pork?
Oh yeah.
Okay. That's my nemesis. It's weird. I can do a brisket till the cows come home. That pulled pork, I always seem to rush it because I think it's not going to take that long, and then the temperatures and the everything's wrong on my pulled pork. I need to perfect that. Marcus,
the brisket is
you've got the thinner piece, you've got the thicker piece, so I can never
right.
It's
definitely science.
Marcus, what you got over there? Come on, talk to us. Researching.
I'm getting updates on this basketball game that's going on out there in Garland. So I'm not happy about the results, but
okay. So why don't we go ahead and do this then? Let's go ahead and move into the segment that we like to call the virgin segment. They're quick hitters. When you're a virgin, it doesn't last very long, so these are going to be quick and easy. Marcus came up with this all on his own, by the way.
40-year-old movie.
But also because he's never had a real alcoholic drink, so he's drinking a virgin drink as well. So that's why we're calling it.
It is pink, but I can handle it.
I'm glad he didn't give you a Bloody Mary.
Virgin Bloody Mary.
No, never mind. I'm not going to go there.
Yeah, I know where you're going.
All right. I can only guess.
All right, let's keep it clean. All right, keep it clean. All right, Marcus, give us your hitters.
All right. Once again, thank y'all for joining us out here at Uncorked in McKinney. So, as Brian said, it's time for the Virgin segment. I'm going to circle back around to something that I touched on probably about a month ago. This young fella who's a rising star in the NFL, local kid from Allen, Texas. That young man is named Kyler Murray. About a month ago, there was some noise on Twitter of him scrubbing his Twitter account of all mentions and references and whatnot. Then that starts the rumor mill, and people are wondering what's going on. What does all this mean? Is Kyler mad at them? Are they mad at Kyler? The whole nine. But now, Kyler Murray's agent, and I forget the gentleman's name, got a letter.
I don't remember. I don't know his agent's name, but I remember the letter. It's not LeBron's. It's not Rich Paul.
No, it's hold on, I can tell you.
No, I'll look it up.
Eric Burkhart.
Burkhart. That's right.
Yep, Eric Burkhart. So this letter is almost seemingly kind of wagging their finger in the face of the Cardinals, saying, "Look, you guys need to get this man his money now." Mm-hmm. And I don't know. I like Kyler Murray. Just want to follow him throughout his career, but I'm having a hard time not being frustrated about this right now. Because look, this kid, he's just finished his third year in the NFL. He's still under contract, at least for another full year. Okay. It's almost like in the letter he's saying it doesn't matter what you put around me. I'm like,
selfish.
The letter?
Yeah, his agent said that. But you know what? When we talked about this, I believe I said, and it's in our archives, so you can play it back if you want, guys. If you want to go through our archives, I said that Kyler Murray is having an issue because as he tapped out as far as his strength or his potential. Has he reached the pinnacle of his career? In 3 years, is this all you're going to get out of Kyler Murray? And then I also said, is there some issues with him in the locker room? And I had no idea this was coming out. I believe I said he's not in control. He's not leading the locker room. The locker room's turned on him or something's going on in that locker room. And now what do we know?
So I'm wondering, makes you wonder now. This is more desperate.
I'm starting to not hear you so clearly.
Oh, can you hear me now?
Yeah.
So do you think it's him or is his agent?
His agent is acting on his behalf, and I think it's Kyler Murray. Kyler Murray did not come from a poor household. Kyler Murray comes from some money.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you now. A lot better. Kyler Murray came from money, didn't he?
Maybe not. He wasn't that affluent, but his dad, of course, being Kevin Murray, former Texas Union quarterback.
Yeah, he played a professional something, didn't he?
I don't think he played very long at all. So he may have had a little money. I don't think he was hurting by any means.
Yeah, he wasn't hurting money.
It wasn't Matt Stafford.
No, but he's also right. He doesn't like South Lake. All right, but but the reason I'm asking.
But I mean, it's talent. It's not bad.
True story. My question and my feeling about Kyler Murray is that was he enabled because he had so much attention at when he was at A&M, at Texas Tech, right? Was it Texas Tech?
He was for you.
OU. Sorry, OU. And so,
but he was a dual threat. Baseball
and baseball.
Right.
So his ego was probably off the charts.
Yeah,
we don't know.
No doubt.
Listen, we don't know Kyler Murray. He seems like a nice guy, but we're just looking at the incidents and the things that are coming out in the media. So we're just talking about it. And Kylie, if you ever on the podcast, you want to join in and talk about it, Drinks and Discussions, man, we're here for you, Chief.
He might be in town right now, just down the road in Allen.
That's right.
I still think his upside is great. I mean, think about it. I mean, it takes years to develop that vision in the NFL. Like you can read those defenses immediately. That takes years. Think about those quarterbacks where it takes like 8-9 years. So I do think his upside is there. Is he a little bit smaller? Yeah, but I mean,
it's all right.
He's got it.
But
he got the Cowboys number.
But here's the deal. There are times in the way I think you can peak, and then you can say, as far as my athletic ability, this is all I'm going to get out of this guy. I'm not sure where his football IQ is. I just don't know where that is. But from a physical, can he perform any better physically? He's undersized, as you mentioned. He's going to get some hits. His body's going to wear down. So has he matured physically in the game of football?
I don't know that. I think we've seen the best we can see from him physically. I think where he will take the next level, and if he takes the next level, it's the same way with any quarterback, is from a mental perspective.
Right.
He's going to have to be 2 and 3 steps ahead of the defense now, because I don't think he's going to speed up. I think he's tapped out as far as speed. And as we've seen, he can't always run away from these NFL defenders like he could in college.
Absolutely. The game gets faster and faster.
I immediately think of Romo. Think about how Romo used to be like a Jedi and just be able to elude folks.
That's his guy.
That's my guy.
That's your guy?
That's my quarterback.
I watched a couple weeks ago the 30 for 30 on that. It was fast.
I didn't see it.
Yeah, I mean, he got to that point where he could read everything.
This was a 30 for 30 on Romo?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know there was one.
Yeah, there is
I
one.
didn't either. I'm not going to find them.
It's like he got there and you could just tell that he can read the defenses, but the body failed him.
Yep.
And that's sadly, I think that happens to too many folks. But I mean, I did think Tyler's gonna slow down a bit, and it's just like, do you think baseball's in the back of his mind?
But here's the deal: Romo was an undersized quarterback. He was 6'1". Listen, 6'1".
Yeah.
That's undersized. So if you're under 6'3" as a quarterback, it's really hard for you to see over the offensive linemen that are almost 7 foot or 7 foot. So they want a bigger size quarterback. Dak Prescott is 6'3", 6'4". That's usually Troy Aikman was 6'3", I believe, as well. That's kind of like the anti-typical or standard size for a quarterback. Romo took a lot of hits when he runs out of the pocket. Kyler Murray takes a lot of hits running out of the pocket. You can't have that protection. Your body wears down. Brady played 2 years, 21 years, 20 years, 20-something years? Something years. Romo played probably 7, 8 years. Because the body can't take that many hits, that kind of punishment. That's the thing, the knock on these running backs that are running around and trying to be these mobile quarterbacks. Unfortunately, that's kind of what you get. And I don't want this to happen, but I think Kyler Murray is going to break down. And he can't be a one-dimensional quarterback. I don't think he can be a pocket passer. I just don't.
Do you think he'll try baseball?
That's what I said. I think so, too.
I mean, is that
still in the back of his head?
What's the question?
Could he be a good baseball? Would he try baseball?
Maybe. Okay. Maybe that's the angle they're taking here.
We don't need this. I can go play baseball.
And make a lot more money.
How old is he?
He can't make it right now because baseball don't know what the hell they're doing.
They're
locked out.
That's why we're hearing so much about the football, because they're locked out. They're probably not going to be any baseball for a while.
Wow.
Good point.
They canceled the first two series.
Yeah, first two
I
series.
agree.
But I agree with you. I believe it's going to be a lot. But at the age standpoint, it's still
I know what you're gonna do.
Yeah.
I mean, Dion and Bo were both doing it at the same time.
Yeah.
Jordan did it with basketball and baseball.
Baseball.
Tyler, really good. Give it a run.
Say that again.
Tyler could do it in baseball. He could give it a run.
Yeah. Now that would be interesting. Tell you what, I wouldn't be. I wouldn't mind seeing that happen. Just to see if he could do it.
Who has his rights?
What's that?
Who has his rights? The baseball.
The Athletics,
Angels?
the A's.
Oh, the A's.
A's, yeah.
Rangers
have Russell Wilson.
Russell, yeah. That he's getting. That's
too far.
Look, Sierra does not want to come to Texas.
No, she don't.
All right, that's enough about football and Kyler Murray. What's your next version hit?
All right, so the next one is, as you guys know, I'm very partial to the high school sports scene here in the Metroplex. Football, and basketball primarily. I wanted to touch on. Well, first of all, let me give a shout out to the Coppell High School girls basketball team. These young ladies had a record-breaking season. They finished the season ranked number 11 in the state with a record of 37-2.
Wow.
They lost that second game in the third round of the playoffs to South Grand Prairie, who is now playing in the state Final Four this weekend.
Coppell girls basketball?
Coppell girls basketball, varsity basketball team. So shout out to those young ladies and their coach, Ryan Murphy.
I don't see a Facebook page. I was going to put it in the area, but I don't see a Coppell girls
They are
basketball.
I know they're on Instagram. I'm not sure about Facebook.
Coppell Girls Basketball Association or just the high school?
Coppell High School basketball.
High school.
You could go. Actually, you could go to. You're trying to find a link to put in there?
Yeah.
Oh, you can put in the here. Look, I'll tell you. Hold on one second. It's like Coppell High School Athletics. I can tell you here right now. It's coppellathletics.net. That'll get them to the girls basketball. coppellathletics.net.
You know what? As I'm typing it in here, I'm thinking this is like high school. I probably don't want to put them on their Drinks and Discussions thread.
Probably not.
I'm gonna just say, hey, congratulations.
Hey, here's the thought. There's the shout out.
Listen, we always try to give you shout outs, right?
But very, very good season for those ladies. So tonight, Brian, as you and I were walking in, Jason, as I mentioned in the beginning, how I do the PA for some of the basketball games here in town. Last week, I did the Richardson Grand Prairie game, and I also did the McKinney South Grand Prairie game. And Richardson and McKinney played each other tonight. Now, Richardson, I don't know if you guys knew, they have two blue chip athletes. One of them is going to Alabama, and then the other one is going to Kentucky next year. Richardson High School is ranked number 1 in the nation in basketball. Number 1 in the nation.
Really?
Duncanville is ranked number 2. Duncanville is the defending state champion. So they play. Richardson and McKinney play tonight. So for all you, here we are in Uncorked in McKinney. Mm-hmm. McKinney came away with the victory tonight, 54-52.
Yeah, baby. Yeah. Beat the number 1. Beat the number 1.
Those McKinney Lions. Those McKinney Lions got it done.
Now, so McKinney Lions are the new high school, not the McKinney.
No. They're the McKinney proper high school, or the first one.
Oh, the older one over there by the police station.
Yeah.
Okay, I got you. Congratulations, man. Look, I knew that was going to happen. That's why I decided to go ahead and continue to have this podcast so we can celebrate on the podcast. That's what we do. That's what we
Yeah.
do.
But I tell you what, say that again.
You rooting for Richardson?
I was rooting for Richardson.
He's not happy.
Yeah, I've got some tears over here. He's gonna rub it in. I quit.
Wait a minute. I'm trying to get Marcus a mood in McKinney.
I'd like to see them versus Duncanville. Like the one.
Yes.
I mean.
They played Duncanville. If I'm not mistaken, they played Duncanville earlier in the season. I can't remember who won that game, but I think they played each other earlier.
You know a lot about high school sports? How'd you know about Duncanville?
Well, he said that it was number one and number two.
I thought you were.
But yeah. Well, Duncanville is ranked number 2. Duncanville is ranked number 2 in the nation, according to MaxPreps.com.
Okay.
Duncanville is ranked number 2, and Richardson is ranked number 1.
And McKinney was ranked number what?
They weren't ranked nationally in the top 25. I'm not sure where they are.
Local. Okay, the state. Okay. That's a huge win. I don't know. I don't care how you cut it. That's a huge win.
It is a huge win for them because Richardson lost to Duncanville last year in the round before the state. So, and then of course Duncanville won state last year. Now McKinney has upset Richardson, and I don't think if they beat Duncanville, if Duncanville beats DeSoto, I don't think McKinney will get past them.
When's the last time you picked up a basketball?
Man, that's the one sport I could never compete in. Now I could compete in my church league, right? Because they had to let everybody play. So.
Right. Did you ever play in Richardson? Did you ever play at that church that had the carpet inside?
Yes.
It's off of Campbell or something, I believe.
Yes, I know exactly what you're talking about. I was trying to think of the name of the church.
Yeah, they had a gym inside, but the gym had
And they
carpet.
had carpet.
And we used to go up there all the time just to go play. I didn't belong to the church. I don't know who went to that church, but they would have the church would be open, and all of us in that area used to go up there and we'd ball out. This is white guy named I don't want to say his name was wrong, but he was about my height now. Yeah. And he was dunking off out of the gym. Like he could hop. I forgot, what was his name? It was on the tip of my tongue. I don't want to say Slash or Flash or something like that. But, the dude just the only dunker I actually played with in my entire life.
So I've got a story. So when I grew up in Plano. Carpenter Middle School when I was in 8th grade. Jimmy King was.
Oh yeah, we knew Jimmy King. Yeah, we knew Jimmy King.
Jimmy King was in 6th grade. He lived in Plano. And I was playing football at that time, and so they had all of the athletes from all those grades, 6th, 7th, 8th. Jimmy was dunking in 6th grade.
Oh shit!
It was really cool to see. And of course, he went to Michigan folks.
Yes.
Yep.
They never won.
Fab Five.
Fab Five.
Jimmy King used to play at Huffines.
Did he really?
Mm-hmm. He used to play at the Huffines. I played him. There used to be a guy named Duck. There used to be a couple other guys. And they were with my cousin's age, because my cousin, Trey's dad, is my cousin. He's 2 years older, 3 years older than us. And I think that's that Jimmy King type. They were about 3 or 4 years older than us. And that's when I knew who Jimmy King was, just because he came through Huffines a lot. That was before the Michigan game, the Michigan days. But we knew Jimmy King because I knew he was a local project.
That's another fantastic 30 for 30. If you watch that Michigan documentary.
Okay.
I think it's like a 2 or 3 hours.
So I'm going to put that on my watch list.
Fantastic team.
That's 2.
Yes.
He's a 30 for 30 expert here.
Sorry, I also work for ESPN.
So now I went to Berkner. So my senior year, well, I think Jimmy might be our same age because he was my senior year. He was a senior at Plano East. They played.
I'm a couple years older.
Okay.
Yeah, he's a little older. I thought he was like 1 or 2 years older than us.
He graduated in 91.
91?
So he was.
So then that's it. Then, yeah, that's it.
He graduated with my brother. They knew each other. My brother was on the football team. They were pretty good friends. Not best friends, but. I still can remember as a kid seeing him just fly through the air We were all in stock. It was one of the best players ever.
Well, nowadays, there's so many kids that are doing that now. I mean, the games that I did last week, several guys playing way above the rim, and these are high school kids.
You know, and I'm watching even on like some of the YouTube channels and stuff when they have practice now in high school, they have dunk offs. They're gonna see who can actually is gonna push a dunk down. Look, I got hopes though. I'm living vicariously through my son, who's 3, looks like he's 6.
Truth.
He's a tall kid. Just saying. My kid's probably 3 and about this high.
Are you hoping
really?
to help you dunk one day?
Jason, am I kidding? My son's about this high at 3.
And he's 3?
Tall.
How tall are you?
I'm 5'10". With no shoes on. With no shoes on, I'm 5'9.5". With shoes on, I'm 5'10", 5'11".
Is Jennifer pretty tall?
I'm what?
Always 6.
You're 6 foot?
Always 6.
Yeah, I'm 6 foot. I'm 6 foot.
No, I'm 5'10" too. I used to be 5'11". My doctor has confirmed that I've started shrinking.
If you drink alcohol, it prevents that.
Danny!
Oh, here's the first
Alcohol for you.
I need a drink, Danny.
There's a
A lot of things. So you're 48?
9.
Yep, 48.
48. You turned 49 this year?
I'll be 49 in June.
That's right, because I'm the oldest one in our 91 class. I had a late birthday, so I started school late, so I'm with a year, I'm almost a year older than everybody that I graduated high school.
So you're going to be...
I'm be 50 this year.
This year? Oh, thank
I was born in December 1st. So I didn't start school with the people who were my age that year, because I didn't turn 5 until the end of the year. So in order for me to turn, I was almost 6 when I started kindergarten instead of 5.
Got it.
That's how it used to work in the days, guys. I'm sorry, we're dating ourselves, but it always had to deal not about your academic level. It was about your age. You couldn't register for kindergarten if your birthday was on a certain month. I don't know if they still do that now or not, but that was a thing.
They do. But now check this out. I think September 1st is the cutoff, so you have to be 5
Before September.
But check this out. It's big business now for parents to purposely hold back their kids, especially
right,
for athletic reasons.
I have seen that. 100% I've seen that.
We did
that, but it wasn't for athletic reasons. Boys sometimes are a little bit, I feel like take a little bit longer.
Development reasons?
Yeah,
I've heard that as well.
I think
it's one of the best things. I think he would agree. I'm not sure if he's listening, but it was my Navy guy that's out there. So.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm kind of glad that my son is going to be 5 right before school starts, so he'll be with his group, and that makes me feel good because I think he's still going to be towering over his competition, and he's not. My oldest son is smart. He's into computers and gaming and all that kind of stuff. I tried to get him into sports. He just never was gravitated. He could golf with me and all that kind of stuff. But my son now, my youngest son, he can go out there and hit. I throw him at 3. I'm throwing him baseballs. If he's concentrating. Now, 3-year-olds, I get it. I'm not trying to say, listen, I'm not saying I got Tiger Woods going on here. And thank you, Connor. We appreciate you watching, buddy. We appreciate you. He's saying he's actually been watching.
He is?
Yeah, I'm watching it on the Facebook. I get all the chats. I'm not saying I got the next, whatever the baseball player's name is. I forget their names because they're in the lockout anyway. But my son's got some talent athletically. He can hit the ball when I just throw it at him. He can shoot baskets. He's no good at golf like his dad. He's no good at golf. But that's something you can work on. That's something. I got some hope, man. I got some retirement. I got retirement options. I got some retirement options.
Right. That's your investment plan right there.
What if he's into computers?
Listen, I could never have spawned a clone of myself than I did with my oldest son. He was taking things apart when he was young. He was building things and playing, not necessarily playing video games. He used Minecraft and all these other different things and tinkering. He's going to school at Texas A&M right now for engineering, and it's I got no complaints. I'm not, but
That's all.
I probably will have a room to live in when I retire. Me and my wife will have a room in his house, but I want my own house. I want myself to make millions of dollars so that I can have a home built on the land that he buys from making these $1 million contracts. So that's all. No, that's not true. But I can hope and wish.
It's a dream.
It's a pipe dream. I get it. It's a pipe dream. I think we've kind of gotten. Man, this is kind of going by pretty quickly. By the way, we just haven't even talked about any really substantive topics here.
I'm building up my stamina.
Are you ready? Are you ready? Because I do want to talk real quick, if I may. And I know we don't know a whole lot about it, but let's just talk about. And I just want to say, I had this conversation with not a coworker. So, in my realm, my secular job, I work in cybersecurity. And one of the things that we do is we're trying to implement a solution that's automated for a process for people to request certain things from us. We use ServiceNow. ServiceNow is one of those big box things where you can do a lot of customizations, you can do a lot of programming, you can make request forms come in, so when you get an email and all that kind of stuff. That's what we're trying to do. Instead of people just emailing us and saying, hey, here's this group, I need this access, I need this to be done. So we've got this project manager, if you will, who is from the Ukraine, Belarus. He's had families in the Ukraine. And if we had this meeting today, because we have a big meeting tomorrow, and he goes, we were talking about him, and we knew he was from somewhere, maybe Russia or somewhere, because he had that accent. And he starts talking about it, and man, I still really he was stoic. He didn't show any. I need the cord. He doesn't have any type of emotion when he's talking about it or anything. He was just talking about it. But I felt something when he was talking about it, and how he was saying about his family members and how he's just nervous about everything and. He's not sure what the end result is going to be. So we're just talking about the war, guys, in the Ukraine. And I grew up, somebody was asking me as I walked through on Cork today, did I serve in the military? I get that a lot, actually. Especially when I was a little bit younger, because I'm older and I slump a little bit. But I always used to walk like this. I always hold my head up. And when I say certain words, people always say, did you serve in the military? And I always tell people, unfortunately, I didn't have the ability because of my upbringing to serve in the military. Even though my dad did, my cousin did, Trey served, and I've got all the family members who also served. My cousin, Darren, also served in the military. I grew up around the military in different branches.
I'm here.
It's hard for me to understand the reason why this is a war when we grew up in '91 when the Gulf War was going on. And that's one of the reasons, too. When I was getting ready to sign, my mom and dad were like, no, you're not signing up for this. No, you're not going to the Gulf War for this. And then there was the Afghanistan war, and then there was other things and all that kind of stuff. This war just doesn't make any sense to me. I don't know what's going on. Because you say I'm bigger and better, and we think that you belong to us, doesn't sit well with me. So again, I'm ignorant of all of the reasons why this is a thing. So you guys have the floor, enlighten me if you will. I don't know why this is happening. And I don't want anybody to tell me, please, if Donald Trump was still president, that this would not happen.
If Donald Trump was president, this wouldn't happen.
Oh, he told you. Now what?
I'm listening.
I don't. Oh, go ahead.
My son's boss is Joe Biden. I mean, I'm not impressed with some of the things he's done. I mean, with the evacuation of Afghanistan, I feel like that was just a precursor to say this is how we're going to react. I do not like what he's done. You and I have had this discussion this week too. Donald Trump is really stupid.
I don't want to. I don't. This is okay. I'm not trying to make this about Joe Biden against Trump.
No,
I'm not trying to make this about
I'm not.
this.
No, I mean,
this is horrible.
That's I don't want to talk about why this is happening first. Yeah.
I hope that Biden and his team we can come to a solution. I honestly have a very important piece of this puzzle in the military that can be called up
Right.
at any time. Now, yes.
Right.
Who is that now?
His son,
My son's in the Navy.
Who's that? Oh,
active member. Connor.
Oh.
Connor, who's watching us, is an active member of the military.
Connor, thank you for your
Thank
service.
you for your service. Absolutely, Connor. We appreciate everything that you do.
So I watched this closely. Obviously you've got Russia. I mean, there could be naval conflicts there, but the bigger thing to keep an eye on with China with Taiwan to say, oh, okay, Russia did this. Can China do the same thing with Taiwan? So it's horrible. I can't believe that Russia's doing this. Now they've threatened to escalate this to a nuclear standpoint.
So,
I read, well, I was going to say, I read an article about 2 weeks ago now. It was before Russia had invaded Ukraine, and I was just trying to get some idea of why at that time why they were even contemplating this invasion. So I'm going to try to paraphrase what I read, and I'll have to try to find the article, but what I took from it is that this is more of a tactical move for Russia to perhaps gain control of a piece of land that is strategically placed that could be of detriment to Russia on a larger scale. Because the Ukraine, I believe they're right on the coast, and
Poland,
they are
there's Poland.
And they're amongst allies, and so they would,
And Turkey in
maybe
that
they
region
could
too?
be.
Is Turkey in that region?
I don't
No.
think so.
I mean, it's close.
But not on that same peninsula?
Yeah.
Further west.
Yeah, I think it's further west.
Wasn't it? Again, I'm undereducated on this as well as to exactly why he's doing it. I think he's lost his marbles.
Well, that's for sure.
But I think there was the threat of them being accepted into.
So, philosophy spreads.
Oh,
Right.
yes.
So, this is the 9th year of democracy in the Ukraine. I think, what's the guy, the president now of the Ukraine?
Zelensky. Yeah.
He's like the second, third, fourth, it's something president in a short line of presidents over there. And he's very popular over there now, especially now.
Yeah.
So I understand how democracy spreads. And you have, and I'm hoping that we still have time for what I really want to talk about this, because I'm talking about how things spread and they sometimes, and how people easily fall for this stuff. And here's what I'm going to say to counter what Jason just said to me about if Trump was still president, that this would not have happened. Here's what I don't like. I don't like it when somebody who is supposed to be on my side, on our side, America first, starts telling me that Putin is doing something smart, or Putin is smart. Here's another thing I have a problem with. Don't sit there and tell me when I've got people dying that you could have done something differently when you're just playing hypothesis, okay? Because you have no idea. And when I hear people who are smarter than everybody at this table saying that Putin is off his rocker, he's behaving in a way that nobody knows why he's doing this thing. He's so insecure about his seat at the table right now as the czar, or the what's the word I'm looking for? The dictator of Russia, that he's acting beyond what anybody expected him. These are people who are smart. These are people in the military, people who are the Department of Defense. So Donald Trump, don't sit there and tell me that this guy is being smart right now by invading the Ukraine. And if anybody has anything that they want to say to the contrary, please join the podcast, because at the end of the day, I would love to know why the president, former president, would say anything that would make the Americans look weak.
No, go ahead.
I digress.
I disagree with the comments. It's not good. But you did have a very interesting point. It's all politics, even with him. It's on both sides. Which I hate politicians. So you said that Trump says that he could have done a better job if he was still in office. What were they saying about COVID or Biden?
It was going to go away.
No.
Wait.
They were saying we need real leadership from Biden to save us from COVID. It's the same thing.
Well, hold on. Let me. You asked me a question, so let me just ask you. I heard that during the election, when the election was over, COVID would mysteriously go away. That's what Donald Trump said. The election is only a ploy in order to make him look bad, and it was a political ploy in order for him not to be elected. Even though he came up with the vaccines that people are choosing to take. So Donald Trump is the one who said, COVID is a fake disease. It's only being used so I won't be reelected. That's a fact.
You're not talking. You're saying what he said. What I'm saying is they're the same things. Donald Trump is saying I could do a better job if I was in office. And then Biden and his team were saying that they could do a better job if they were in office.
Agree.
It's politics.
I agree.
The answer is
we don't know.
Probably not.
You don't know? No. Look, I can say here on the podcast that I can run. This is a true story. Marcus is getting ready to laugh. I tell people all the time on this podcast, I can run a sub 5 second 40 right now.
He's been saying it. So
does it make it true just because I say it?
Oh well.
Okay.
No, hold on. I'm saying it because it's true. But when people say things doesn't mean that it's automatically just true. And that's I keep telling people to look at things from different sides. I'm not coming to you and saying Donald Trump would have not allowed this war, because I don't know, because Donald Trump's not the president. We just don't know. That's a hypothetical. That's a hypothetical. I don't know. I don't deal with hypotheticals. I don't live my life feeling like, well, you know what? If I only would not have eaten that hamburger yesterday, I would not be this way today. Or I could probably have not.
We're getting on thinner ice.
I'm sorry.
But anyway, the floor is yours. The floor is yours.
Marcus.
yeah, it's a humanitarian thing. If Donald Trump did say those things, it's just wrong.
Agreed.
And what I found interesting is the Russian people themselves are very much against this. Even the soldiers. So they're.
Did you hear about that?
Nuts.
The soldiers are like giving themselves up to the Ukraine army.
Yeah.
I haven't heard that, but have you seen what's been happening to those protesters in Moscow, St. Petersburg, that are protesting against Putin? Russian military police cracking them in the heads, man.
No, I haven't seen that part. I've seen. You don't have protesting in Russia. It's not allowed.
I've heard that. Yes.
They're protesting the capital of Russia. But I've just read an article before we got here that Russian military are turning themselves into the Ukraine because they don't agree with this war, and they're turning themselves voluntarily into the Ukraine. I don't know if that's fake news or not.
I can only pray, but
what I'm seeing
is they're now moving into this new stage with these crazy missiles that have no guidance, and they just bombarding the cities.
Yeah.
And I know that there's people, great Russian soldiers that are just not wanting part of this.
But how do you do that? How do you and you've got a son, Connor, if you're still watching, how do you take an order that you know conflicts with your morality and still knowing that you signed up to do a job? I don't know if I could do it. I don't know if I could put myself in that position. Well, I know I could put myself in that situation, but how do you handle that?
That's
the hardest question somebody's ever asked, because I feel like I've raised him to follow his morals versus. I mean, if he was going in there and committing murder and stuff,
But isn't that subordinate? You could be shot, court-martialed, because if you disobey a commander's orders, that's weird to me.
You got emotional on that.
I think it becomes an issue. That's what you signed up for, type thing.
But I raised him different.
Right. I raised my son too. I raised my son that morality trumps, anything else. So how you feel and how we raised you trumps anything that somebody else. Somebody can tell you go out there and smoke that kid, dude. He rubbed you the wrong way. That's not how we raise our sons, right? Right. But military is totally different.
I would hope that we'd never have a government that would do that.
I would hope so too, and I do believe that our military tries to the best of their ability to properly execute the rules of engagement. So
I can tell you're very impressed with how he's been trained and what he does. I mean, and they are a team. I'll tell you this, the shipmates. I mean, it doesn't matter where you've come from, race, anything. If you come in there, I mean, they are a team.
Yes.
I hope so.
And that is one of the things that I've just been most impressed with, is they have got each other's back. Period.
I've heard some horror stories about, we're not naive at the table here, right? We have heard stories that racism is still prevalent. Sexism is still prevalent in the military. I'm glad to hear stories that you're telling about your son, Connor. Connor, when you get back, man, you've got drinks waiting for you. You got some stories to tell. We're going to be the platform, open and welcome you in open arms. Hopefully you'll take the invitation seriously, because we would love to have your perspective. I don't know how you do it.
Marcus,
he doesn't drink. He will eat and eat. You take him for good food.
Well, hold on a second. Let me tell you guys this. This might be the occasion, and it will happen on Drinks and Discussions. Marcus will have a drink. He will have a drink. I'm not saying when. But Marcus has he's agreed that when he's ready to have his drink, it will be on Drinks and Discussions. So, listen, Connor. I know you're looking forward to it, Chief. I hope that you could be the catalyst to bring you home, number one, and then also celebrate your return. What more momentous occasion could it be for Connor to be at this table with us guys, and we cheers his homecoming, and Marcus partake of a drink? That is what I wish for. I wish that more than anything else in my life. Is I wish that Connor would come home and Marcus will share that drink, that celebratory drink, on Drinks and Discussions. What say you guys? If you guys are watching, please let us know how strongly you feel about that, making that happen. Marcus drinking.
Connor, when you get home, make sure you have a long list of things to do before you come to the podcast.
He does.
Crawfish is number one. When is he coming on? When is he coming on?
We don't know. I've got to go see him.
Oh, because he's got orders now? Oh, that's right. You're getting ready to go. That's right. Yeah. Jason's getting ready to go see him in San Diego.
Coronado and Riverwalk.
Well,
Brian. I was going to say, do you want to get to your topic?
I do. But I wanted to say, Connor, again, we salute you. We salute all of our military families and military personnel that are out there. I know my dad used to come home with this. Back in the day, they had this big duffel bag that was like from floor to ceiling about this big. And he would strap it on, and we had this dog. As soon as he come home, my dog would jump on the bag and jump on him and all that kind of stuff. And we'd jump on my dad. And it was just a great time to see my dad come home from serving. And I don't remember, because I was so young, how long he was gone and what was going on. But it was just great to have my dad home. And I remember that bag. And I'm not sure if he still has it or not. But I remember this green army bag with his name Neighbors on it, and that's all that mattered to me, and I knew my dad was home. So I appreciate you guys' service. We all do. And no matter what,
I'd like to thank your dad.
You sure can. Go ahead on. See?
Maybe he can come golf with us. If he doesn't golf.
That's going to be part 2 of this subject we're about to get into.
Okay. I'll try.
All right, guys. We're still at Uncorked, and it's about 9:30. People still kind of walking in. We're still drinking at the bar. I invited a lot of people from my neighborhood, by the way, to show up. I'm not sure if they're here. I'm not sure if these guys are part of the Fairways or not, but we're here. Want to say hello. Hey, guys. Thank you guys for coming. We're just here to enjoy. If you guys are out watching us, or if you're here, please just stop by the table. We're the only guys with the microphone at Uncorked. If you have something to say, come on and say it. We're always going to be here on Tuesdays, and we appreciate and we welcome anything that you guys have to say.
And it's not just any other Tuesday; it's Fat Tuesday.
It's Fat Tuesday. Why aren't that many people drinking? Well, it is McKinney. It is McKinney. You know, it's a family.
I'm assuming if you're at Green Gator in Frisco or a few of the other places, Doty's.
We should have probably planned this a little bit better and been in some of the other places that were celebratory. But I'm kind of glad we did.
Yeah, that's good. It's good.
So I want to talk about something that's personal. Okay? And this is the reason why I invited and told Jason that this podcast is not about bashing your beliefs, my beliefs, being a Republican, being a Democrat, being anything. It's an opportunity for you to share stories and hopefully that somebody can relate. And I saw something that I wanted to share with you guys on the podcast. It was personal to me. And I wanted to get you guys' perspective because I didn't know what I was supposed to feel about it. And as I've mentioned before, I grew up a Jehovah's Witness. I have not matured relationships because of it. I've lost relationships because of it. And there are things in my life that I probably could have been because I was a part of the Jehovah's Witness organization. And then there's some things that I neglected in my adult life because I stopped becoming a Jehovah's Witness. I'll make this all make sense in a minute. Jehovah's Witnesses in my life told me that I was not supposed to graduate high school. The world was going to end. Jehovah's Witnesses believe that there are signs that are going to manifest themselves that will indicate the end of this system of things. This system of things is this, the world we live in right now. Jehovah is going to according to Jehovah's Witnesses, they are going to, Jehovah's going to reconstruct the earth into his primary design, and that's paradise. Fruit hanging from the trees, clear crystal lakes and rivers, animals talking to us, we talking to animals, whatever paradise means to you, that's what Jehovah's Witnesses believe. That was supposed to happen when I was in high school. Okay? All through my life, I was told that I could not hang out with you, or anybody else. Because you were going to distract me from my purpose in life, and that is talking about Jehovah. Jehovah's God, by the way, because you didn't know that. Jehovah's name is God.
I did.
That's God's name. I remember in Liberty Junior High, I used to be the guy that sit in the counselor's office instead of study hall or something. You go to the counselor's office. Remember that? And then you go. That was cool to do that. You can go in there and then they give you a note and say, "Hey, we need to go check this person out because he has to go come talk to a counselor." So I go and turn in the slip to the teacher, and then it was cool. I remember when Sharon Sales came to our school in Liberty Junior High. She was she came in, and I thought that she thought I was like I thought she thought I was cute, and she was the new girl at the school, and she was kind of cute. I thought, man, I'm gonna go to the school dance with her if I can, and I think she wanted me to. Push come to shove, I mean, long story short, I couldn't go to the dance. I could not go to a dance in junior high school. I couldn't go to a football game. I couldn't even try out for athletics, even though Coach Blackman wanted me to. Remember Coach Blackman? Coach Flanagan.
And Black.
Yes.
Bobby Flanagan.
You know what I'm saying? Look, I think they had a talk with my mom and dad to ask me if I can go, and my mom and dad's like, nope, that's not gonna happen. Not gonna happen. The reason I'm bringing this up is because I saw something that threw me to the floor. In 2020, when COVID started manifesting themselves, holy crap! Don't let me tell me about this dude over here. So this is the guy who works at the golf course.
I recognize him.
Come on, bring it in, Chief. What's up, man? Say hello to everybody on the podcast, man.
How's it going, guys?
Hey, this is my boy Dan. All right, Chief. So I just realized that the Jehovah Witness putting out something in 2020 when COVID was manifesting itself, that the world was going to end in 2020.
They keep pushing the year.
Huh?
They keep pushing the year.
Oh, absolutely. Well, 2020 was supposed to be another year. And then I sat there and I had a conversation with somebody who was like family to me. And I said, did you see this? And she was like, oh, no, I didn't see this one. And it's funny because when I was growing up, the year 1914, when it comes to Jehovah's Witnesses, is very important. 1914 is when Jesus returned. And it also signifies a certain, I don't know if it was 6,000 years, 2,000 years, or 7,000 years, 6,000 years since the fall of Jerusalem. They say Jerusalem fell in 607 BC, or 607, year 607. Everybody has disproven that and said that Jerusalem actually fell in 587. So the math is wrong. Then they said 1975 was supposed to be another year. Stay alive to 75 is what Jehovah's Witnesses used to say.
Really?
That didn't happen. So then when war after war and, Gulf War, they used to call things the sign of the end of times. Is what Jehovah's Witnesses used to call these things. It was embarrassing. I used to have to knock on people's doors at 9 o'clock in the morning on Saturday. As an elementary school student, I used to walk in, and some of the kids would open the door and go, "Hello, Brian. Hey, Brian, what are you doing here? Can I talk to your mom and dad real quick?" Because my mom and dad or some other grown-ups are sitting behind me, making sure I follow the script or whatever. Are you ready for Jehovah's return? It's just odd. And so I wanted to just talk about, and Jason's a man of faith. When people start using this biblical equation, this math, and then they always use math as a reason to say they missed it, the prophecy. They always say, oh, we misinterpreted this, we misinterpreted that. How do people get away with this? How does this work?
it only works if there's people that believe it. So there's a lot of people that are falling for it.
Yeah. Tell me about it. There's a lot of people who drink the Kool-Aid. And the reason I'm bringing this up is because we have these people. I am a man that believes that there is a spiritual realm. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that I don't believe that there's something. I don't know what it is. And I've said this before. Say what?
Nobody does.
But here's the deal. I don't care what faith you are, and I want somebody to prove me wrong. I don't care what faith you are. There is a Bible passage that will prove you right.
Absolutely. Yeah, there's a verse for everything and everybody.
There's a Bible passage that will prove everyone right.
I also think that there's multiple religions that have these end of days.
Oh yeah.
Go back to
The Mayans.
and I was raised Catholic and got the end of days,
The revelation.
I think everybody's point to that, but I'm going to say this. There's
Bad humans,
bad
human
humans,
greed,
and people sell religion, fear to make money.
So the signs of a cult.
Not saying that
That's the hope is.
No, I'm not saying either. I'm not calling Jehovah's Witnesses cult. I'm not saying any religion is a cult. But fear mongering is the blueprint of cults. They make you feel they make you feel like you're persecuted for your beliefs. You've got to be persecuted. Because what you believe in is wrong. The QAnon theory, the people of QAnon, that's their playbook. People are persecuting us because we believe this. People persecuting us because we are Republicans. People are persecuting us because of that, this, and that. So that's the blueprint of a cult, a conspiracy theory. Also, there has to be a certain amount of fear instilled into the cult. If you don't do it, this is what's going to happen. If you don't believe, if you don't follow, this is what's going to happen, not only to our government, but to you. This is what your end of days are going to be if you don't follow our logic of thinking. That's the blueprint of cults. But also, that's the blueprint of a lot of the televangelists as well. You know, Joel Osteen, if you just do this, this will happen. If you don't do this, this is what's going to happen to you.
Swindler.
You have to really be.
I've gone to Joel Osteen meeting years ago was hot, and as soon as they started passing that KFC bucket around for money, as
that's why I just
there's people pretending to be.
Don't hold back on the podcast. Listen.
men of
Men of God, I'm trying to be
men
men or women of God. They're working. And it all comes down to money in my estimation. For themselves, it's greed.
Go ahead, Marcus.
You have to. I think you have to be. I mean, whatever it is that you believe, I think you have to be really grounded, and I think you have to be very confident and strong in your position as to what you believe, one way or the other. That's not for me, but myself, I do view myself as a Christian, grew up Baptist, and I feel like I have a strong faith. Now, do I exercise my faith the way that I should? Probably not. But I do believe, in Christ and whatnot. All that being said, I don't personally, I don't get caught up into the messenger, if you will. I feel like I have a very unique ability to bypass the messenger and just hone in on the message itself. And then I don't always rely on the messenger. I'm gonna go and one of my coworkers today said, "Trust but verify." I'm gonna trust what they're saying, but I'm gonna verify just to make sure.
That's great to hear that because I've never heard that saying.
Yeah.
I also really like that too because I agree with you. I mean, I have not practiced as much since COVID times, but I think the most important discussions I've had with my wife is after we've gone through the service and how did you interpret it and how did I interpret it, and having that conversation about the different points. We've had some of our best conversations with that. And like you said, the messenger, can come from one person, but he's delivering a message. Like, how did you speak this in?
Yes.
And we talk about it
We
together.
talk about it together. So that's been some of the best conversations.
Absolutely. Yeah, and that's really helped me because not every people are not perfect. People are going to mess up. They're gonna, So I've had. What's that?
We're born sinners.
Yes, absolutely, every one of us. So that's why. So that's once I realized that I need to hone in on the message, not the messenger. It really helped me.
So let me ask you this question: is fear mongering a part of your belief?
I think some will try to use that as a tool, but it's not. It doesn't. You're not going to scare me. I know that I'm not perfect. I know that everything that I am and everything that I have is, by His grace. So it doesn't. No one can scare me, if that makes sense.
Well, let me qualify my question because fear mongering to me is if you don't do this, you won't receive this. If you don't lead your life this way, you won't prosper in which the way God wants you to prosper. It's almost one of those prosperity type preachers who say, Joel Osteen is a prosperity preacher. If you follow God and you just pray for it, you will become wealthy. And if you do this and you do that, you will become wealthy. You will do these things to things. I used to watch Joel Osteen as well when I was my previous marriage. We were just laying in bed and on Saturdays or Sundays, wake up, and it would be Joel Osteen because we thought, hey, this guy spoke so eloquently. He just made me feel like, man, I could walk out here right now and I could conquer the world. And then I was kind of like, wait a minute. I heard this line before. Okay? I was supposed to be a pioneer. So, and here's the thing about Jehovah's Witnesses. When you are a pioneer, that means you don't get a job. No, you don't have a career. You get a job. Jehovah is supposed to take care of you for your career. You're supposed to make minimum wage and be happy with it, and then go spread the word. Because if you had a career, that's going to inhibit you from doing Jehovah's work.
And that's what I found interesting, the whole higher education aspect. When I watched the video that you shared, I was floored.
Frowned upon.
Yes, and I wasn't judgmental. It was just, this is unbelievable. I had no idea that those ideals were out there.
You could be of this world or in this world, but not be of this world. Have you heard that before?
Yes. It's a verse in the Bible. Be ye transformed.
Yeah, so you can, be a part of this, but don't do things that are part of this. So don't go get a career and earning money, improving your credit score, buying a house, getting all those types of things, because that's not what Jehovah wants you to do. Because by the time you do all those things and manifest your, put all your time and effort into those things, the world's going to end. The world's going to end, guys. Bird flu, West Nile, chicken pox, measles, all those diseases were supposed to end this world. I would promise you, I'm not supposed to be here. The people who lived, the people from 1914 were not supposed to pass away before the end of this system of things. And then Jehovah's Witnesses moved the bar again. And that's the biggest thing. When you have faith in something, and here's another thing about Jehovah's Witnesses, they want you to have faith, sight unseen, faith, that what they're saying can't question it. You don't question it, you don't research it, and you can't talk to people outside of their religion. I can't be friends with you. Can't be friends with you. I'm a Jehovah's Witness. We just can't. Sorry. Can't eat your crawfish. Sorry. Can't be in the same cart with you on the golf course. Actually, I probably can't golf with you if you're not a Jehovah's Witness. Sorry.
Can you play golf?
Can you play golf?
I can play golf, but not with you. I'm just by myself.
That sounds like a Saturday Night Live skit.
Look, I got my joke book. This is my joke book. By the way, speaking of a joke book,
wouldn't that be great? He walks up to the car, I'm driving. He's like, "Are you Jehovah's Witness?"
Let me see your Bible. I know your Bible doesn't look like my Bible. You're not gonna get in the car with me. That's a joke. By the way, I work. One of the things I do on the side also is I have my own IT business, and I do support for a lot of companies around the area. TK's is a comedy store that we're going to do a podcast at TK's, and it's going to be great. They also do open mic night, and I'm going to be on open mic night one day. Just because I'm not sure if I'm funny.
We're going there.
I'm not sure if I'm funny, but I've got jokes.
He's not funny.
He's not funny.
He's not funny.
I'm the funniest guy in our golf group.
Funny as looking.
Listen, man, come on. This is the moneymaker, man. This is why I do the podcast. This is the moneymaker right here. I can make it happen. So.
No, you are
pretty funny.
We have the best time.
But that's great. I mean, I just want to just talk about that because I know you're a man of faith, and I don't know what you have to say about people who ostracize people in their own religious organization for fraternizing with people who are outside of their own religion. That makes no sense to me.
I just haven't experienced that.
Honestly, I'm undereducated with Jehovah's Witness. As I mentioned, I was born and raised Catholic. I'll tell you.
Oh, wait a minute. Whoa. Catholicism is the religion of Joe Biden.
You're right. You're in lockstep.
So I tell you, you should be a Biden supporter through and through because of the faith in itself. Faith moves mountains.
Separation of church and state, right?
No.
Go ahead.
I do not
understand Democrat Catholics because Catholicism teaches that abortion is a sin. At any stage.
And I've never understood.
Not according to the Pope.
According to the Pope, you can. I don't have the Nancy Pelosi and Joe Biden.
Nancy Pelosi is not the Pope.
She's not. She's a Democrat.
I just said
Democrat Catholic.
no. I just said the Pope has said that there are reasons why abortions should be illegal.
Did you say
legal
or illegal?
Legal.
I'm not aware of those. I'm sure that there's
something out there you have to
something out there. Educate me on that.
Look, I'm just playing.
Catholic.
I just made that up. I have no idea. I have no idea what the Pope's stance is on abortions. I really don't. I have no idea.
He's anti-abortion.
He's anti-abortion. I'm going to tell you.
Oh, okay, that's fine. That's great. I don't know.
No,
Flat out. And so that's why I've never understood that with the Democrat. I'm not going to go down that rabbit hole.
Well, let me ask you a question. Is it all or nothing? Because I know that I believe in certain things, but there's some things I also don't believe in. I don't believe in defunding the police. I don't believe that there are people. I don't believe that a society that we live in doesn't need to be governed by a body that actually holds people accountable to following our laws. Okay, there are extremists on both sides.
Oh yeah.
So my question to you is, but do you believe? So here's the thing I want to ask you specifically. I saw something that Marjorie Taylor Greene went to talk at a conference that was held by a white nationalist. I saw this white nationalist make a speech, and he says this, and I've heard other Republicans say this. We don't want a country where BLM, Black Lives Matter, and Antifa run amok in our country. But they don't say, and I promise you, if you hear this discussion, I promise you people are spying on our podcast, because I've never heard this argument. I've never heard anybody say BLM, Antifa, Proud Boys, white nationalists in the same sentence. So if you're a Republican and you're against BLM, Antifa, the next things that I need to hear out of your mouth is white nationalist, Proud Boys. Because those are the extremist groups. I'm not even saying BLM is an extremist. I'm not saying, but if you're saying that these are, you're against extremists, those are the things I want to hear next out of your mouth. As a Republican, we are against all of these things. And if you align with Proud Boys, white nationalists, and all these other things, did you just lose your power?
My battery just died.
Look, I was like,
No, this was getting good.
but it's okay. But if you're against these things,
Why do you think that?
why are you not excluding all of them? I'm sorry, what?
You've never asked
You've
me.
never asked me.
No.
I'm against
I'm against all of the violence.
This is the first time you accepted my invitation to be on the podcast, so now, here you go.
We've cuddled on the golf cart multiple times.
We cuddle. You fed me grapes.
No, it was the other way around.
The other way around.
But go
That
ahead.
was such a great moment. No,
Are we?
I'm against all of those extreme things.
Kind of waiting for
People get
people get Marcus.
Hopefully we get Marcus back too, but I'm actually looking at my thing too, and I'm trying to figure out if I'm charging right now.
My battery died, so I'm gonna try to log on my phone.
Okay. But we can still hear you, by the way. But so
let me
what say
tell
you?
you.
What say
Let me-
you when it
let me
comes
tell
to
you.
why are you
against-
not? Why are you not? Not you. But what Republicans are the party of Lincoln. Just making sure everybody knows this. Lincoln was a Republican. It was the Republican Party that abolished slavery.
fought and died
To abolish
for that.
slavery. The Ku Klux Klan, and people keep saying this, and it's kind of like questionable. The Ku Klux Klan, they keep saying were Democrats. The Ku Klux Klans weren't Democrats. They were just opposed to the Republican Party because at the time, Republican parties were trying to push for equality for Black Americans, for economic and other freedoms, equality for Black Americans. And the Ku Klux Klan did not go for that. Somehow, it changed a little bit, and I'm not sure where we are right now on what the Republican Party stands for or what the Democratic Party stands for. Because at the end of the day, I will not align myself for anybody who promotes hatred. I don't care what your skin color is. If Donald Trump tells me that Proud Boys stand by this, or Putin is this, or Putin is a great... Listen, you lost me on all that. Fuck you, Trump.
Well, he's said stupid stuff. Don't.
No.
I'm conservative and I'm Republican.
And I vote for Trump.
And Brian,
Brian, I'm not a racist.
I'm not saying. Listen, how the hell did you just get what I just said into you being a racist? That is the most idiotic thing I've ever heard in my entire life, Jason. It had nothing to do with you.
That's what it's. That's what.
That had nothing to do with you.
That's what you're hearing.
What?
That's
You're talking about that. You talked about
Marcus, did I say Jason was a racist?
No.
Did I even allude to the fact that he was a racist?
See, here we go. You didn't get a word in.
No, you accused me of something. I'm just asking you, how did you come to that conclusion?
Talk about it as the Republicans. I say the Republicans have been victimized. I'm talking about Trump now. And that it switched. That Abraham Lincoln's group was Republican, fought for freedom, African Americans. Then you said it's changed.
To what?
That Trump is extremist, that's racist, Proud Boys, white nationalists. Why do you associate people as white nationalists or Proud Boys that believe in Trump? I voted for Trump for a different reason.
Whoa. Because they're white nationalists that believe in Trump.
But that doesn't mean that I didn't believe the same things they do.
Whoa. No, this has nothing to do with you. We're talking about white nationalists and
hooking up their cart
to Trump.
Unfortunately,
that's all I'm saying.
Okay.
I'm not saying that people who believe in Trump are all white nationalists.
Okay, I just want to make sure.
We have that.
Please make that clear. Please let me make that clear.
Okay, sorry. I mistook. Yeah, there's idiots. On both sides.
And I try to distance myself away from any ideological or ideology that may have people that have racist views follow. Let me ask you a question. If I told you I am a big believer of Louis Farrakhan, what would you say about me?
I don't know.
I'm
not
educated enough in his beliefs.
What the media
told me is that he may be further
to one side.
I'm centered.
You've talked about it too. I'm very much and I'm very anti-extremist and very anti-politicians being in their seats forever. But from a Farrakhan standpoint.
But if I said it, would you go out and say, "Hey, I'm a big Louis Farrakhan supporter"?
I would answer after I was educated.
How long have we have to be educated in order to figure out that Donald Trump is inviting people who hate other people into his umbrella of supporters? He entices them to come join him. That's their whole shtick. I've
told you this why I voted for him because I'm anti-politician, and I didn't hate people. That's why I voted. Not for anything. That was really it. I'm sick of politics.
I'm sick of politicians.
And he's got his own. That's what I wanted to see.
What policy do you like about Donald Trump that you think, hey, outside of all the other stuff, this is the policy as a Republican that I am starched on believing that Donald Trump is going to do for me? What policy is it?
Energy independence.
That is one of the policies that Biden
Really? He's going for green energy. We're still buying oil from
fossil fuels. Seriously, this is the big thing. You just crossed off Biden's energy independence.
He shut down the pipeline.
What pipeline?
The Keystone
Pipeline.
The Keystone Pipeline is relying upon non-reusable energy. That is not energy dependent.
Why are we still buying oil from Russia?
We're not getting oil from Russia. We're getting it from the Middle East. That's one of the reasons why we had the Afghanistan war.
We are
still buying it from Russia, and they are invading.
Okay, so hold on a second. Russia is oil independent. They get it. We get it.
7%
Hold
of
on,
our
but we're not reliant. You know how many oil barrels we have in reserve in the United States?
I don't know where you're getting this. We're still buying.
Do you listen? This is not a debate upon who's right or who's wrong. I'm just asking you a question. How many barrels of oil does America have in reserve?
I have no idea, but I know
thousands.
We've millions.
Millions.
And hundreds of
millions. And the reason why the Build Back, and the reason why I believe I need a government that's going to help us get off of the offshore, onshore drilling, is because there's renewable energy that we can create in the science labs. Do you believe in that?
I believe in renewable energy, but I also believe that we are not all there yet.
No, we're getting there. Elon Musk can have a car that can drive 1,000 miles on a single battery charge.
Brian,
how are they charging that? That car.
Electric.
Renewable energy.
Coal is burning.
It's not coal in those electronic cell batteries. We're going to agree
Where does
to
electricity
disagree.
come from?
I'm going to do my research, and then I'm going to tell you.
I will gladly
It's not coming from Russia.
No. We're talking two different things. Electricity is from coal burn.
I get that.
Is that renewable?
No.
That's the worst.
It kills the environment.
It's the
worst.
Yeah.
But that's what I don't get. People driving these Teslas saying, "Oh, I'm green." You're not.
But wait.
Electricity. Wait.
That's what you said about what the policy you believe in Donald Trump.
We're talking about two different things.
That's what you said.
We're talking about two different things.
Okay.
Well, energy independence is stop relying on the energy from Russia. We're talking about Ukraine. We should stop buying. Period. Sorry. So now we're talking about
the NORMAD energy line, NORMAD 2. That is supposed to help supply Russia with more energy that we've shut down from Germany. So that's one of the reasons why this war is still going on.
We haven't done anything. Germany's voting. We don't have any.
The pipeline has been constructed. It's just not functioning. And Germany is saying, outside of the Americans, okay, we're not going to make this a functioning pipeline.
Agreed. We're still buying oil.
Yes, we do.
Not from the Nord Stream.
Got it.
We're still buying 7% of our oil. It's coming from Russia. Why are we? We need to stop. That's what I'm saying. Why did we shut down the U.S. What was the pipeline, the XL pipeline from Alaska? We could have just pumped that up. I mean, but Biden's saying is shut that down. And I get it, environmental, whatever. But now it's time to shut that down. The other thing I was talking about was the cars, the electric cars. They're like, I've got a green car, I'm driving this great Tesla. Electricity comes from coal burning, which is the worst polluter.
So battery cells in themselves are self-sustaining, according to Elon Musk. So you can create a battery cell. You can create a battery cell that holds enough energy that can actually sustain a vehicle for 5 hours, 6 hours, whatever the case may be.
But then
lowering the emissions that are emitted by gas-powered motor vehicles.
But then you plug in.
So you plug in, and you're still saving the Earth's atmosphere by still emitting zero emissions during that charge. How many emissions do you emit when you pull in a full tank of gas? When you put your gas into your car, and you see that little haze that's going in, all that stuff is going into the environment.
I agree. Where does electricity come from?
Where's the what come from?
Electricity. Where does it? It's not magic.
Well,
Don't tell me so.
no, there's something that's going on. I don't really know the answer to that. Oh, hold on. Let me answer that. Let me answer that.
Sorry, hang me up. That's me.
Yeah, I'm trying to get that. Let me get that. Let me get to that. Let me get to it. Marcus is trying. It disappeared on me. Do it again. Okay, there you go. All right, there you go. Marcus is back, everybody. Marcus is back. Hey, by the way, I wanted to say one thing about Dan, who sucks balls, by the way. Oh, sorry.
I didn't know who's there. Announcers, Paul? Because that's the only thing I do.
I can't
I
hear you.
can't hear you.
Listen, I call you Danny. I call him Dan.
What was that?
I can't hear you. I can't hear you. I can't hear you.
I would like where does electricity come from?
Say that again.
Say it again.
Electricity come from?
No, you can go on the podcast.
Say one more. I'm having trouble hearing.
You can't just say
Where does electricity come from?
Oh, where does electricity come from? Isn't it generated? Isn't it generated by water?
Like the grown-up adult word.
Electricity, no. Electricity is not generated by water.
Oh, there's multiple. There's water,
but it's also generated by windmills that the birds die, and if the wind doesn't blow, the TV won't work.
Okay, if I can tell you how much electricity is generated, I can guarantee you the vast majority is by coal. And when you burn coal, that is worse than anything a car can produce. So you have an electric vehicle. That's great. That's zero emissions. But the electricity that's used to charge your vehicle is burning coal, which is worse than if it was a combustible engine.
So you want to keep gasoline in all cars?
Not at all.
So what's your stance?
My stance is better. It can't be coal. It can't be gas.
Okay.
We've got to do better. We've got to do better.
I agree with you.
So I'm saying everybody that is driving a Tesla or any electric vehicle, they think that they're doing a great job. In essence, they're not.
Marcus is gonna have to mute his phone.
Look at where the electricity comes from. It's coming from somewhere.
Okay, yeah, that's better. Yeah.
That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. So
I'm not.
I hear you. I agree with you.
I love my gas-powered car.
I agree. I love my gas-powered mower too. Listen, my wife actually bought me something, and I said, "This is not." I looked at her and I said, "Babe, I love you, but this is not for me." And it was the one that you plug in, and I was like, "I'm not gonna move this." No. And I don't even want my neighbor has a battery powered one, the eco one with green, whatever it's called. And I'm like, I got this Honda that's just great. It sounds good. I can listen to music. And I'm old school. I love it. And I get what people say when they want to hold on to technology and things that are good. I get it. I'm not trying to and listen, and my niece is married to a roughneck. He is living out California or Oklahoma. He's onshore drilling for oil. And I love this guy. So I'm not trying to tell people to get rid of things that are giving them jobs. But I'm also telling people that, who had the dial-up internet connection, AOL people, guess what? They have to find new jobs.
It happens.
People grow, and we in technology and things that we do evolve, and they become greater. So the things that we rely on, that we think that are important to us, it changes. Don't be afraid of change. Change happens. I was playing an Atari 2600, the Nintendo Game Boy.
So
why are you saying
why are you
that?
saying that?
Who are you saying
Who are you
that's
saying
afraid
that's
of?
afraid of?
I'm not saying it for anything. I'm just saying, don't be afraid of just change, because people keep saying we have to rely on this and we have to rely on this. Geniuses and the way things move and move forward is because we don't have to rely on the same things that people said we have to rely on anymore. We don't have to rely on black people being subservient slaves in this country. We don't have to be second class citizens as a black man and take less pay. We don't have to be women who take less pay for equal work. We don't have to put up with the same things that we've been putting up with, regardless of what it is that we do and what we dealt with. Change comes, and we should be embracing change, not being opposed to it. Donald Trump, to me, not Republicans. This is the problem I have with people. I'm not saying that I have a problem with Republicans. Limited government works for me. I'm a small business owner. The less government in my money and my saying so, and I'm paying my child support, the better off I am. But I have a problem when that government tries to act as if they represent people that look like me. People who say because you're a Republican, you don't represent my views. Republican Party has started to push out people who look like me. Hold on, let me tell you why. Marjorie, I started this before. I'm sorry if I missed off. We're running out of time here a little bit. Marjorie Taylor Greene went and spoke in a white nationalist convention. And she said that she was trying to go in and talk to people who were canceled because they were young Republicans. And when she talked, again, she didn't say, I'm talking to people who are black people who are pushed aside because Republicans think that we are a racist group. I'm not talking to young people who are disenfranchised because of their economic situation, because of where they live. She said, I just didn't know that this guy, who everybody knows is a white nationalist. And then when she started saying all these types of things, and this is what I alluded to before, when they talk about these, the BLM, Antifa, I never hear the next word. Not white nationalists. I never hear the word Proud Boys. All I want to hear from Marjorie Taylor Greene is, shit, I fucked up. And damn it, if I knew this was a white nationalist group, I don't give a fuck who was sitting in that audience. Fuck them.
It's the news media that you're watching. You're gonna get one side from Fox.
Whoa. I listen to Marjorie Taylor Greene herself. That's it. I don't care what station she's on, because I don't listen to CNN. I don't listen to Fox. I go on YouTube and watch the same videos that you're watching.
You're lumping everybody into.
I'm not lumping anybody anything. I'm saying what I'm talking about Marjorie Taylor Greene only. Huh?
You're talking about a specific incident.
Exactly. Not overall. A specific incident. What do you have to say about that specific incident? That's all.
I don't know what she did. What
underage. See, and that's another thing. I hate when people say, I don't know about that one. I gotta go research it.
No, don't do that because I told you that I did my research after Trump said that. I'm not prepared to. I don't know what that is. Why would I make a comment on that when I know nothing about it?
This is not an indication of what you saw or that you read.
I've worked. You didn't say.
Again, this is not an attack on you. This is not an attack on you. I'm just asking the question: is if I'm not a Republican. I believe on both sides of the spectrum, and then I try to make common sense of everything. I'm not a Republican. I'm not a Democrat.
Good luck doing that.
But I don't like AOC. I don't like AOC. I think she's progressive, too progressive for me. I don't actually believe that again, I told you, I don't believe in defunding the police. I don't believe in some of the things that are her ideology. I just don't believe in some of the things she says. I also believe that there's a lot of old people in government that need to increase their knowledge and become more understanding of what people like me, our generation, needs to talk about.
So
what matters to us.
Point, we agree on the same thing. Politics, there should not be.
Well, but we don't agree. What we don't agree is that.
So we get more progressive.
But what we don't agree is that your party, you claim that you don't understand or you never heard what happened.
What do you mean?
You said, I've never heard about this whole Marjorie Taylor Greene thing. And I'm not saying to you specifically. I'm just saying, people in general just say, oh, I never heard what... I was talking to somebody the other day, and I said, when Trump... Not you. When I said, Trump said that Putin was smart. Well, I never heard that one. Where'd you get that from? I ain't never heard that one. I'm like, why do people do that? When people say, listen, I watch the news. You're an educated man. You're a smart individual.
I don't watch the news.
No, but hold on. If you don't watch, how do you formulate your opinion? How do you base your livelihood on what you believe if you don't watch the people that represent you?
Because I don't trust anybody.
Okay.
Either side.
So you don't know who Marjorie Taylor Greene is?
I do. But I have not,
so what do you
heard of this specific situation.
So what have you heard of Marjorie Taylor Greene?
I really don't know anything on her. So
this is the problem I have with not you on the podcast, not you. This is what the problem I have with people who just say, I'm going to tap out on people who say things. When I say I'm in line with this group of this line of thought.
Comment on something I know nothing about. I have
no.
knowledge.
Listen to what I'm saying. You align your thinking with a certain group of people.
So I've got to know everything?
Nope, didn't say that. But if you align yourself with a certain group of people, and you have to say, hey, I know this group of people align with the same group of thinking, this line of thought. The Proud Boys. Check. White nationalists. Check.
Hate them.
Great. I'm glad you say that. Thank you. That's all I need you to say. I didn't need you to say it. I'm just glad to hear you say it. Because sometimes he calls me like boy in the cart when we're going. He goes, boy, get that boy out. I was trying to I'm trying to make you funny. Come on, man. Come on.
That is I've never done
that. Listen. I'm trying to tell you guys.
Dude, I've never done that.
Jason, listen. Jason's a good friend of mine. I will never, ever try to make him feel... Look, I'm not trying to make you feel any kind of way. I was just a joke. That was a joke. I'm just saying.
I've never done that.
Never.
You know that I've had
other never.
No, you know.
No, you know.
And listen, I was just a joke. I'm telling people it's a joke. I just don't want to ever associate myself with anybody who's affiliated with a hate group. I don't. I will fight somebody. Look, I've actually had fights.
You're saying
because I'm Republican that I'm affiliated with those hate groups.
No, I'm not.
Okay.
I'm just saying I wish more Republicans would say that I would distance myself from those hate groups. Because I just sat there and admit, look, I'm going to let you have the floor. I'll let you have the floor. But after I just said this, and I will repeat myself. BLM, Antifa, they stopped there. I want Republicans to start saying BLM, if that's what they think. Antifa, if that's what they think. White nationalists, if that's what they think. And Proud Boys. I want them to label all of those in the same pot.
You could say that on the other side, too. When there's media saying Proud Boys.
I've heard the other side say There are elements of the BLM movement I don't agree with. I've heard those. I just said that 1,000 times. Defunding the police. This is the podcast. I'm not speaking on behalf of everybody else. I'm talking about this podcast. That's it. That's all I can do. This is all I can do. I don't believe in defunding the police. I just don't. That makes no sense to me. I also don't believe that just because you're talking at a conference that you probably have to know everything about it, but you should know everything about it.
If I'm going to the
conference, I'm going to.
I'm just saying, give me if you can label things that are hateful in this country, label them all. Don't tell me that you don't like BLM. Don't tell me you don't like Antifa. Tell me you don't like BLM. Tell me you don't like Antifa. Tell me you don't like white nationalism, and tell me you don't like the Proud Boys. That's it. Easy. I'm voting yes. Vote for you, because that makes sense to me.
I think there's a scourge of America.
I hate
all sides of those extreme groups go.
Yeah.
On both sides, there's definitely extreme groups on both sides.
Because we're here.
And guess who's louder? Those extreme groups.
I just got through talking about Jehovah's Witnesses, so you know I know a lot about extremeness.
I don't know about Jehovah's Witnesses. I'm sorry, dude.
Well, if you don't know about Jehovah's Witnesses, I got a Watchtower Awake in my car, and I'm going to tell you about Jehovah's Witnesses' return. But listen,
when's the next end of the world? So I know
we're going to leave this. We're going to leave this on the table. Because, again, Republican Party is the party of Lincoln. I get it. That is the party that the Ku Klux Klan was invented to go against, because the Ku Klux Klan did not appreciate the fact that the Republican Party wanted to liberate slaves. The Republican Party wanted to abolish slavery. The Ku Klux Klan came into existence to fight against the Republican Party.
No disagreement.
The Ku Klux Klan is now the the Proud Boys, the white nationalists. So the Republican Party should be admonishing those same groups, just like they oppress or shame the other groups that they say are hate groups.
Are there black members of the Proud Boys?
Huh?
Are there black members of the Proud Boys?
I don't know. I'm asking because
I don't know enough.
Just because you have black people in the part of the Proud Boys, you mean that's not a racial group?
I don't know. Again, I'm sorry.
You got some homework to do then. You got some homework to do.
On top of the 10 jobs I'm working.
Listen, on top of the crawfish thing that we're doing and all this other stuff that we're going to talk about on our next podcast, you're going to have a lot of homework to do.
You educate me to be prepared and talk on certain topics, and I will. But I don't. I'm not part of the Proud Boys.
Jason, stop acting like you're a victim, like somebody's accusing you of something. We're having a conversation, man. That's it. Nobody says just because you're a Republican that you're something.
We never got to the topic, which was crawfish.
Well, we're gonna close up. We appreciate you guys watching. There's a lot of people that were watching us tonight, and I want to say to every one of you guys, thank you for watching. We're just still kind of filling out this format. We're really just kind of like out here. We're drinking. We're discussing. Marcus didn't have a battery charger for his laptop. He's on his phone right now. and Jason's kind of like, I kind of feel attacked right now, and I'm not really attacking you. And Trey wasn't there. Nobody can see that finger, little small finger. But anybody, Trey's not here to actually be the really. Trey would have been here on his side. Trey would have been on his
side. I'm in the center, bro.
I'm in the center as well. I like common sense. I'm in the center. I really am. I'm in the center. I'm not a Trump fan, but I'm in the center when it comes to ideology, when it comes to the Democratic Party and the Republican Party. Donald Trump does not represent what I believe is the Republican Party. He just doesn't.
Probably agreed on that.
Thank you. All right, guys.
That wasn't my vote.
wasn't my vote
I'm
as
sick
well.
of,
But
sick of politicians, dude.
look, politicians. If we could run as politicians, I think that we would be great as politicians because I would be so great about it.
She gonna hit you.
Oh, you gonna hit me? Uh-oh. What happened? What did I miss?
Anyway,
All right, wait, that's an after party. That's an after party situation. That's an after party conversation. By the way, I want to just tell Jason, this is my guy. Great, I love this guy. It's my guy, my ride or die. Never, ever, ever going to make him feel as if we're trying. I'm never going to try to make you feel uncomfortable about the conversations.
I almost ripped his arm off. Remember that?
the cart wreck.
Oh.
We were driving in that cart wreck. I was coming down hot into
The tunnel.
the tunnel, and we
were up against the wall.
Sparks.
Gotta go in there. Gotta go in tight. Go in tight. Gotta go in tight. But we appreciate everybody.
Almost ripped his arm off.
We appreciate you guys. Every Tuesday, we're gonna be more in different places. By the way, I know Uncorked is our favorite place. They started us. We're happy to be here. But we're going to be in different places in the area. We're going to be in Capel. We're going to in TK's Comedy Club. I told you guys about that. TK's Comedy Club is in Addison. I know the owner. He's a friend of mine. We support their organization, by their infrastructure. And they have a speakeasy and a comedy club. So this is going to be great for us to go out and do this podcast as well. But even if we don't, we're still going to go and visit them. Shout out to TK's. Hopefully you guys will go out there and see some really good comedy. It's just like the what's the comedy club in Dallas?
Improv?
The Improv. It's just like the Improv, and it's great. So shout out to TK's Comedy Club. Hopefully guys see you guys out there. Until next time, Marcus, last words?
That's all I got.
Oh no, Marcus last words is bring my laptop charger. Jason, how was it? I know Jason gets a little kind of like gun shy a little bit. He thinks we're attacking him. I get it. But how did you feel about the podcast? What you expected, not what you expected? What did you think?
That was great.
I'll do it again.
Just give me the
agenda.
And I'll be
I'll be prepared.
All right, guys. Marcus, Jason, I'm Brian.
Don't
Danny.
me, dude.
Danny. That's Danny, the bartender. Come say goodnight to the crowd, man. He's going to say goodnight to the crowd. Listen, I'm going to be honest with you. Danny is probably one of those guys that he's always been here. He's always gave us a little shout out. He's always done fabulous drinks. You guys come and see this guy because he will make you a most fabulous drink, even if it's probably not with vodka. I mean, not vodka, but bourbon and whiskey. If he makes you a drink with gin, don't drink it.
He didn't like the Negroni.
Don't drink it. Don't make that. Don't make that.
Yeah. Hey, the Manhattan was great. You like that?
Talk a little bit on Corked, and we're gonna say goodbye.
Monday through Friday, 4 to 7, we do happy hour in the bar. We do live music Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, starting at 7:30. It's always different musicians that we have. We kind of rotate them throughout. What else can I say? Patio's warming up now, so
What am I doing out there?
we patio weather. You might do the podcast out there.
Oh yeah, smoke a cigar.
Yes, well, we've got some fans out there too, ceiling fans. So it's if it is kind of hot, we can turn those on. But yeah, I think we're getting into patio weather finally. Thanks for having me.
We appreciate you,
Sick
man.
of the cold.
We always appreciate you guys at Uncorked, man. So for all the hosts that we have tonight, we want to say good night. We appreciate you guys for always attending and watching us, and we will see you guys next week for Drinks and Discussions.